I want to welcome you to a course in miracles, 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 a course in miracles. Do you want to have miracles? 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 Well, if you want to have miracles, then all you have to do is do what the Course in Miracles is telling you to do. All you have to do is do what the Course in Miracles is telling you to do, even if you don't believe it, even if you don't accept it, even if you don't welcome it. Harm is impossible to God's teachers. It's impossible for a teacher of God to be harmed. It's impossible for a teacher of God to be harmed. It's impossible for a true demonstrator of love to be harmed. If you are really practicing and really demonstrating love, it is impossible that you be harmed. It's not possible that anyone be harmed who's really practicing true love. And someone that's really practicing true love is someone who can neither harm nor be harmed. So if you're really practicing true love, you can't be harmed. If you're practicing true love, you cannot be harmed. So what is harm? I'm gonna go through the section, then I'm gonna get down in it and break it down. I want to read this. I want us to hear the Course in Miracles. It's on page 12 in the Manual for Teachers. The section is called Gentleness. So whenever you experience harm, or whenever a person is going to be harmful, then that's the result of them having a dishonest act. And a dishonest act is an act that follows a dishonest thought. So if a person is harmed, or if a person is harmful, they have dishonest acts, and they also have dishonest thoughts. So what is the dishonest act, and what is the dishonest thought? Well, the dishonest act and the dishonest thought is a verdict of guilt upon another, and therefore on oneself. So if you have a verdict of guilt upon yourself, or a verdict of guilt upon anybody else, then you are having a harmful thought. So you are opening yourself up to harm, and you're opening yourself up to being harmed, because if you see another person as guilty, you're seeing yourself as guilty. I'll say that again, because I don't think people really get that. If you see someone else as guilty, you're seeing yourself as guilty. That's a harmful thought. And because you're having a harmful thought, you're opening yourself up to experience what you would call harm. So if you see another person as guilty and therefore see yourself as guilty, then that's going to be the end of your peace. Because there's no way you're going to see everybody else as guilty and attacking and hurting you, and you're going to have peace about that. So the minute that you focus on guilt, that's the end of your peace. The minute you think somebody else is guilty, that's the end of your peace. So then you notice that it says it is the end of peace and the denial of learning. So what do you mean by the denial of learning? Well, we are learning that we are not guilty. What are we learning that we are? Innocent. Right. So if I see you as guilty and I see someone else as guilty, that is a denial of my learning. That's a denial of what the Course is teaching me. So the Course calls that a denial of learning. And also, harm also demonstrates the absence of God's curriculum and its replacement by sanity. So the ones that you see yourself as guilty, then that's the absence of love's curriculum, because love in this Course is teaching us that we're loved and that we're innocent. And the minute that you think of yourself as guilty and you think of someone else as guilty, the Course in Miracles says, then you are experiencing God's curriculum being replaced by insanity. So if you're in a world full of people who think that everybody's guilty, you're effectively in a world full of insane minds. You're in a world full of insane minds. Then people go, what do you mean? Well, you don't have to be exactly a genius to see that this is an insane world with a lot of insane stuff going on, with a lot of insanity. But then there's also a world where people are constantly calling each other guilty and projecting on each other as being guilty and criticizing and judging each other. It seems to go together. So this section is saying that no teacher of God, let's get clear about what a teacher is. A teacher isn't somebody that's talking it. A teacher is somebody that's demonstrating it. So the course says then that realizing that God's curriculum, the curriculum of love, no teacher of love, no teacher of love, no teacher of God, but must learn and fairly early in his training, what? The main thing that you need to learn is that being harmful completely obliterates your function from your awareness. If I'm here to be I'm more determined than ever to be a loving presence on this planet. The one thing that I've experienced in the last month is so many demonstrations of love and healing that it's made me more determined than ever to be a loving being on this planet, to be a means for light to come on this planet. And I'm not going to wait for anybody else to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to let myself be a more loving, kind, conscious being on this planet. Why? Because if I say I'm a teacher of God, a teacher of love, a teacher of truth, and I want to hurt somebody, and I want to condemn somebody, and I want to attack somebody, and I want to see somebody as guilty, then he says, well, that has completely obliterated your function from your awareness, because your function is to be a demonstrator of love. He says, and what happens when you have obliterated your function? How do you know when you've obliterated your function? He says, well, when you are harmful and you're projecting guilt and anger, then it's going to make you four things. Whenever you are not fulfilling your function, you're going to feel confused. When you are not fulfilling your function, you're going to feel afraid. When you're not fulfilling your function, you're going to feel angry. And when you're not fulfilling your function, you're going to feel suspicious. Okay? So if I'm having a day that I feel confused, fearful, angry, and suspicious, if I'm feeling confused and fearful and angry and suspicious, I am not fulfilling my function. My function has been completely obliterated from my awareness. Because I can tell when I'm fulfilling my function by what? I will not be feeling confused, fearful, angry, and suspicious. So it says it will, and if you are confused, if you are angry, if you are suspicious, and if you do see people as guilty and you're upset and you're angry, the Course says that's going to make the Holy Spirit's lessons impossible to learn. You have a teacher of God, a teacher of love, a spiritual teacher within you that's trying to teach you how to be completely loving and to be completely peaceful and to be completely happy. If you are confused, fearful, angry, and suspicious, and you want to stay that way, and you want to see people as guilty, and you want to judge people, what did it just say? Well, you're going to make the loving spirit's lessons impossible to learn. So I can understand people who would come to a Course in Miracles class who still wanted to hold on to a grievance. I can see how trying to do the Course in Miracles would be the hardest course that they have ever tried, because it's an almost impossible course for somebody that wants to hold on to a grievance. So the way that you allow the Course in Miracles to work quickly is for you to already have the intention of being harmless and being helpful. And you want to let go of the guilt, and you want to let go of the anger, and you want to let go of the suspicion. Not saying you are able to do it 100% of the time or even 10% of the time, but you're walking in the room with the intention of letting go of those blocks. So those are the people that I like to work with and the ones I like to teach. You don't have to come and work with me because you are completely loving everybody 100%. You want to work with me because you want to get past the blocks that keep you from loving everybody 100%. So then you got to get out of denial, right? Then I go, okay, well, how can I tell if I am not fulfilling my function? Well, I feel confused, fearful, angry, and suspicious. The Holy Spirit's lessons of love are impossible to learn, nor can God's teacher, your inner guide, the Holy Spirit, be heard at all, except by who? Those who realize that harm can actually achieve nothing, no gain can come from being harmful. So people ask me, well, how can I tell when I'm listening to the voice of my higher self? How can I tell when I'm listening to the voice of spirit? Well, you won't hear the voice of spirit. You won't hear your higher voice as long as you still want to do harm. As long as you still want to attack, project, and blame, you will not be able to hear the guidance that's coming from your greater self, your higher self, the Holy Spirit. You notice how the Course in Miracles is absolutely just one sentence after another, just very simply explaining why people are harmed and why they experience themselves as being harmed and why it is you don't hear your guidance that's telling you everything that you need to do all day that would make your life really work. Well, if I'm full of grievances and I want to see everybody else as bad and guilty, then it's already told me, well, I've forgotten my function, because my function is to be the light of the world, which is to see the innocence of people. And so I'm not fulfilling my function. And since I'm not focusing on love, I can't hear the voice for love if I'm not open to love. I can't hear the voice for love if I'm not open for love. And guess what? When people are confused, angry, and suspicious, that's when they're least open to love. So that means that you're much more likely not to hear the guidance of your higher self when you're mad. So thinking that you are telling yourself anything that's true when you're upset and you're staying upset is a major error. Earl, you sure need to hear this, buddy. Are you with me? You still with me?
Yes.
Okay. I like to work out of the Course in Miracles book because I would love to be a motivator to get people to work out of the Course in Miracles book and study it. Okay, so let's get to the end of it. Okay, so when would you actually give up being harmful and angry? Well, he says, no gain can come of it. Okay, so you're trying to tell me I'll stop doing something when I don't see how it benefits me? If I see it's not benefiting me quicker, then I'll stop doing something because it's bad or good? Yeah. You'll stop doing something faster because it doesn't work than putting morality in it. It won't work for me to try to start my car up with a toothpick, okay? That won't work. So since I know that won't work, I never go looking for a toothpick when I want to drive off after the class because I know it doesn't work. So if you know something's not going to work, you'll stop doing it. So if I really got that, I'm not going to hear my guidance that's going to lead me to my abundance and my joy and my healing if I want to be harmful. And I want to be harmful every time I'm trying to project on other people and see them as guilty. And not only that, if I'm projecting on other people and seeing them as guilty, then harm is possible for me. Then I could be hurt. I could go through pain in the world, right? So in case I thought I did not have any guilty thoughts that I needed to let go of, having to have a healing within my body let me know that I had some unconscious guilt and fear that I had not released and forgiven yet, or I wouldn't have experienced needing to have surgery. So instead of looking at it as something to beat myself up about, then I looked at it as an opportunity for me to recognize that I had some grievances that I still needed to let go of, and that the surgery that I had to have was my call for help and my call for God and my call for healing. So on one hand, it was a prayer to God to heal me, which God did. And on the other hand, it was letting me know, you need to do your workbook lessons more. You need to do a bit more studying now, dude, But the cool thing about it was the Holy Spirit turned around and used that to create more healing between me and my family, my children, my friends, and wake me up at a level that blew my friggin' mind, seeing spirit work in everything and everybody around me. So I walked away from that experience with more faith than ever before. What seemed to be something that could have been frightening, because I was walking around with an aneurysm inside of me the size of an orange and I didn't even know it. It could have ruptured at any time and I would have left my body in 2 seconds. Right? But because of a series of synchronicities and accidents, I found out about it. Right? And so the truth is, right before I went into surgery, the thing that I thought about was, thy will be done. That was what I was thinking. I felt all my feelings every way about it. Then in the end, if you want me to go, I'm willing to go. If you want me to stay, I'm willing to stay. And besides, I'm too guilty to die. So I ain't getting away that easy. I ain't getting out. Yeah, nobody gets out of here alive. You know what I'm saying? But really, this is an earth school where we got to learn how to love, right? So if I got to learn how to love and I still haven't gotten to the point that I practice unconditional love, then it stands to reason I still be around here to learn the lesson. Okay? So my point in saying this is that I didn't want to be in denial Being in denial would be me pretending that I don't have some grievances, even though my body had revealed to me quite. And when I say the body, I'm also talking about not just the physical body. I'm talking about what you can see that as being your financial situation, your health situation, your job situation, anything that you're using right now to make you angry, fearful, confused, and suspicious. That's where you got your grievances. So don't think just because your body is physically healthy, it means you don't have any guilt thoughts that need to be released. You're in the world, so you do. Okay, so how do you get out of it? How do you heal? Well, you have the intention of not being harmful and put the focus on being harmless. And you want to do that so that you can hear the guidance that's telling you how to get that bill paid, how to change your mind and have more peace, how to have that relationship healed. We're getting the answers to everything we're upset about and asking about all the time, but we have harmful thoughts, and so we don't hear the guidance. So I'm not going to deny I have harmful thoughts. I'm going to admit that I have harmful thoughts so that the thoughts can be removed, because my intention is to be helpful and harmless. So let's go to the next paragraph. It says, therefore, God's teachers are what? Holy, gentle. So God, that's love. The teacher is what? A demonstrator. So therefore, love's demonstrators are what? Gentle. Holy, gentle. Okay? So what does that mean? Well, that means you really need the strength of gentleness. Did you not used to think that gentle in a way was almost like you're kind of weak, and that you don't think of gentleness as strong, right? And the Course is saying to us, no, actually, you want the strength of gentleness. Now, what do you mean? I have such a desire to be gentle that it's stronger than my desire to attack and be harmful. So I'm using the strength of gentleness more than I've ever used it in my life. When I'm tempted to want to go off on somebody and I decide not to do it, I'm using the strength of gentleness. So gentleness, you have to be strong in this world not to react to a lot of the stuff that's going on. For you not to attack, not to lose your temper, not to project. That's the strength of gentleness. And then what does it say? It says, God's teachers, loves and demonstrators need the strength of gentleness, for it is this, the strength of gentleness is in the strength of gentleness, is in the strength of gentleness that the function of salvation, which is healing, becomes easy. My function becomes easier when I learn how to not react and stay in a place of gentleness. Then it becomes easier for me to be healed. I'm too selfish to go off on people and to judge and condemn people the way I used to. I'm too selfish to attack people. I care too much about myself and what it would do to me to let you make me hurt myself because of something you are doing that I'm trying to get you to do differently for me. I'm sorry. I'm too selfish to try to change you. Does that make sense to everybody what I'm saying? It really is the way my mind works now. It's like I can find myself wanting to get upset with somebody about something. I go, whoa. No. I am not going to attack myself because of something that you are doing in my perception. You won't even feel it, and it'll give me an aneurysm. You understand what I'm saying? If you knew what your thoughts would do to you, then you change your thoughts. Always being approached to be spiritual because of what it does for other people, you used it not on a high enough level of consciousness to do that until later on your spiritual path. In the beginning, you're probably a little selfish bastard that just want things your way no matter what. And you're mad at people who don't do it that way. Okay? Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? Okay. All right. In the beginning, when people find out their thoughts are creative and they manifest things, the first thing that usually comes to their mind is, how can I manifest a car? How can I manifest a house? How can I manifest my soulmate? How can I manifest a trip around the world? When people first hear the truth, they want to usually use the truth just to make their physical dreams come true. They don't start out with the recognition that if your thoughts can manifest, then that means your thoughts are determining the life that you're living. They don't get that though. They go, wait a minute now, if my thoughts could produce a car, then that means my thoughts manifest physical things in my perception. Oh my God, that means that it's been doing that my whole life. Even when I didn't know this, it was doing that. So I've always been experiencing the result of my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and my beliefs in a world that's teaching me that I'm a victim of everything I see, and everything is being done to me by everybody else, and especially by my childhood. You get your hand up?
Yeah, so I just want to make sure I'm getting this right.
Okay.
So, without getting political, you see something going on in the world, you're trying really hard to not feel guilty or angry or frustrated or confused, and you stick with peace, and at the same time, you want to make a difference and do something.
Great. You want to know how that works?
And that's when is the more loving you can feel, that's when your inner wisdom comes through.
Exactly. If you go out, I'm looking at the world, I don't like the way the world is, and I don't like the things that are going on in the world, and I want to be a means to bring more light and joy and peace into the world. That intention is enough to allow me to begin to hear my guidance, and my guidance will tell me specifically what I can do. Like my guidance says, come teach the Course in Miracles at 1 p.m. on Sunday at Unity Temple, right? My guidance says do clarity session, astrological, numerological sessions that you're telling souls why they were born in the first place, so that they'll know what their purpose is. Somebody else, it might be, you need to go mow the lawn because that's going to make you feel more peaceful and you don't see so many weeds in your yard. So that's going to have more peace energy going out into the world. So you can't change the world. You can't change the world. The Course teaches you cannot change the world. What you can do is change your thoughts about the world. You can change the way you're looking at the world. See, as crazy as parts of myself are, and that's everybody I see is a part of myself, then it doesn't make any difference. What makes any difference is I don't act that way. See, that's the cool part. Like, how do you change the world? Well, I won't be harmful. I'll be harmless. Even though we're taught to look at harmlessness almost like you're weak, or you're somebody that's going to be walked all over. No, harmlessness just means I'm not going to attack you, and I'm going to learn how to listen to my guidance, and I'm going to follow it. And I'm going to also remember that I have invisible teachers with me and around me that can help me. See, I'm real clear that in the experience that I just experienced of healing, that it was something greater than the Earl that's standing up here talking to you that was in charge of that whole experience. And the main thing that the Course in Miracles is trying to teach us is that we're never alone, and we always have invisible help with us to guide us and heal us and support us. So therefore, God's teachers are wholly gentle. Did that help? God's teachers are totally gentle. What does that mean? They need the strength of gentleness. For it's in this, the strength of gentleness, that the function of salvation, which is healing, becomes easy. Now, what about those people that want to do harm? Well, it says it right here. Let me put these little pieces of glass before my eyes that I'm pretending I need to have before I can see things. Okay. Because it's important that I see. You know what I mean? Good. Look at Harlan. Harlan's been around me 30-something years and he still shakes his head. It's so good to be back here with you all.
It's good to have you
It's
back.
so good to be back here with you. And the people online, thank you so much for all the love that I received. And actually had an uptick in the number of people that was watching my class. Like got up to like 40,000 people or something that was watching. Because I guess they was wondering if I was going to be around. So maybe get a good last look at this dude just in case, you know. It says, to those who would do harm, it is impossible. What is impossible? The function of salvation, the function of forgiveness, the function of love. If you're a person that's full of anger, guilt, and grievances, the function of being a loving, forgiving person is going to be impossible for you. Right? It's so simple. It's like if I just want to raise hell and condemn people and judge people, well then a function that has to do with salvation, which is forgiveness, I'm not going to be able to pull off. So the Course says, to those to whom harm has meaning, then salvation, which is healing, forgiveness, is merely natural. For those whom harm has no meaning. Like, why is it that it looks like you're more willing to do this? It's because you really don't want to be harmful. So this makes you kind of like, okay, I'm willing to entertain some of the stuff Earl is saying from the Course. But the reason why you're willing to listen to what I'm saying is you are already a person who really doesn't want to hurt people. Or somebody that doesn't want to hurt people, telling them not to hurt people is no problem. right? Somebody who sees everybody as an enemy and you tell them to love your enemy, they're going to say, what the hell are you talking about, right? Because they want to be harmful to that person and they see that person as being harmful to them. So the function of forgiveness sounds impossible because they don't want to. They want vengeance, right? So the Course in Miracles says right here, he says, to those to whom harm has no meaning, forgiveness or salvation is merely natural. What choice but this, choosing to be forgiving, has meaning to the sane? See, a sane person knows, if I want love, I got to be loving. If I want peace, I have to be peaceful. If I want kindness, I have to be kind. If I want light on the planet, I have to be light on the planet. If I want freedom, then I got to give people freedom. So somebody that is gentle knows that they need to give what it is they want to receive. Someone who wants to limit and hurt people, whenever you talk about being loving, they see that as an impossible thing you're telling them to do. And not only do they see it as impossible, they will tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't. Just like what you were saying earlier.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm getting this. So if we're getting sicker, we're getting other things happen, like whatever you want to say, money or whatever, it's actually not that we're feeling anxious because of this other person that we don't like or doing things that we don't like. It's actually that it's because we're feeling those feelings.
That's right. That's right. Right. I'm mad at you. I'm feeling it. You're not. Mm-hmm. See, I'm mad at you. I'm feeling it. You're not. So the Course calls that an attack upon the body. And it says that's why the body deteriorates and dies. It's because of all the grievances and attack thoughts that we have toward ourselves and others. Now, check this out. Some people will say, you know what, I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm not the kind of person that would attack someone. I hear that a lot. But an attack thought is also the thought of being attacked. So the Course in Miracles teaches a thought of attack is just as much you believing somebody's going to hurt you as you wanting to hurt somebody. So most people would say, I don't really want to hurt anybody, but you will find that a majority of people will say, I believe I could be hurt. Mm-hmm. And I believe somebody could hurt me. But they don't realize that's also an attack thought. That's still you giving power to the idea of you being harmed. And then they wonder why they draw to them or manifest what they see as harm or sickness or lack or relationships that are just an attack upon yourself. Some people are in relationships that they have what the Course calls a secret vow. And do you know what the secret vow? The Course says that people who believe they're guilty and separate make with the people that they have special relationships with. They said we make a secret vow that I'm going to hurt you and you're going to hurt me. Mm-hmm. So people who don't know what love is, they choose people who they're just going to get together to hurt each other. But in the beginning, they'll have an irresistible attraction to each other, or else that's the cheese in the mousetrap. Right? You can't catch the mouse without the cheese. So the cheese at the beginning is, I'm going to do whatever I can to please you, baby. I'm here to make you happy. Come on into this mousetrap. You right? And see, the mere fact that I'm telling you I'm going to make you happy and you come toward me because you believe that tells me right there you're unconscious. Because a conscious person knows nobody else can make them happy. So you wouldn't even fall for that because you know you could give yourself happiness with that person, but you knew that person couldn't make you happy. So you wouldn't even fall for that. Oh, you're going to make me happy. Uh-huh. Then that means you're expecting me to make you happy. Uh-huh. Which means you're going to have a script for me. Uh-huh. And I'm going to have a script for you. Uh-huh. And I'm going to start giving you some loving when you don't fulfill that script. Uh-huh. Is this too much truth that we need to tell some lies? Is this too real? I didn't know you could give somebody the finger emoji. Oh, God, I need to laugh. Laughter heals the body. That's why I'm up here standing up. I'm being the way I already am. Right? And so letting my body be used for the truth is the most healing thing I can do with my body. I'm doing the most healing thing I can do with my body right now. And so it says here, You still with me, gang? Y'all with me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's keep on going. That's why I like to work out the book. To those to whom harm has no meaning, then forgiveness, which is salvation, is merely natural. What choice but this has meaning to the sane? Who chooses hell, which is fear, when he perceives a way to heaven, which is love? And who would choose the weakness, and check this out, the weakness that must come from harm in place of the unfailing, all-encompassing, and limitless strength of gentleness? Now, check this out. He says, who would choose weakness that must come from harm? So where does weakness come from? Harm. So it already told us what harm was, the verdict of guilt on yourself or another person. Okay, so now here's the cool part. You can see me as innocent and you can call me innocent and not even believe it, and it'll work. Would you like me to elaborate on that? I'm Earl Purdy, whether you think so or believe it or not. Your believing that I'm Earl Purdy has nothing to do with me being Earl Purdy. I'm Earl Purdy even if you don't believe I'm Earl Purdy. Okay, let's switch it. I'm innocent even if you don't believe I'm innocent. I'm innocent even if you don't believe I'm innocent. So your belief that I'm innocent doesn't make me innocent. So what's the cool part about that? So even if you call me innocent, but you don't believe it, you still told the truth about me. And so you still sided with the idea that it's true. And you could manifest that truth in your life. And you'll get my bill next week for saying that to y'all so y'all can. See, that's too easy. You're telling me that even if I don't believe what you're saying, Earl, I could reap all the benefits of it. Yes, why? Because I'm telling you the truth. And since I'm telling you the truth, it has nothing to do with your belief. So even if you don't believe it, if you say it, you're agreeing with it, so you're still calling on the power of the truth. Does that make sense? That's why I want to ask people, because it makes a lot of stuff in the course that makes sense to me now. When I first started studying, it didn't make sense. And so I have to make sure I'm not saying something that, that just goes right over your head. Because now I'm used to it 45 years later. So I don't mind clarifying, because if you don't mind having a simple, easy answer, I don't mind responding. But if you need me to give very complex answers, I'm the wrong person. Complexity is a smokescreen that hides the truth. Complexity is the smokescreen that hides the truth. You want to make something complex. It's just you wanting to hide the truth of that situation. Okay, so let's go to the next sentence. It says, and who would choose the weakness? Where does weakness come from, gang?
Fear.
From fear, from being harmful. So weakness must come from harm. I did it again. And who would choose the weakness that must come from harm in place of the unfailing, all-encompassing, and limitless strength of gentleness? So the might of God's teachers, the might of love's demonstrators, lies in their gentleness. For God's teachers have understood that their evil thoughts, their ego thoughts, come neither from God's creation, God's child, nor from God's child. The loving part of you isn't coming up with the fearful thoughts. The loving part of you is not coming up with the lack thoughts. The loving part, so when you get conscious, you realize every negative thought you have is not coming from your real self. It's coming from the self you made up, based on what you learned since you were a child. It's the ones you get that the only thing that comes from you is love, you're way ahead of the game. So people just ask me, how can I tell if this thought is coming from God or coming from my ego? How do you feel? If you feel depressed and angry and mad and want to kill a few people, it's a possibility that didn't come from God. Just a possibility. It's a stretch. I've got to make the most of this maybe 20 years. That's the truth.
Plus.
Yeah.
Plus.
Well, yeah, well, I just have to have incentive.
We've got it for you.
You got it for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. All right. Now, The might of God's teachers lies in their gentleness, for God's teachers have understood their evil thoughts, ego thoughts, fearful thoughts, come neither from God's Son, which is the same as saying God's mind, God's creation, nor from your Creator. Thus, what do you do when you're a teacher of love? He says, you're going to join your thoughts with God, who is the source. And so your will, which always was God's will, is free to be itself. That sounds deep. All it means is, I just heard what you just said, Earl, and I'm going to go in alignment with it. And I'm going to do what was just suggested. I am not going to hurt myself by wanting to see everybody is guilty. I'm going to make the choice that I want to be not a harmful person on the planet, but a helpful person on the planet. I am going to recognize when I'm confused, angry, and suspicious that my function has been obliterated from my awareness and I've forgotten what I'm on the planet for, which is to be the means for peace. If you agree that you want to learn how to let go of the blocks to your awareness of love's presence, you are in agreement with God's will. You are now following the will of God, which is that you have perfect and total happiness. You're unhappy because you're not following God's will. You're unhappy because you're not following the truth. You're not unhappy because you're trying to follow God's will. You're unhappy because you're not. But guess what? God is not going to punish you for that. The universe is not going to punish you for that. Nothing is going to punish you for your negative thoughts, because nobody would do a better job than you, and nobody is as dedicated to punishing you as you. That's the truth.
It is.
And we all know that. There's a part of me that never takes a day off as far as trying to judge and condemn me in some kind of way. My friends do. Strangers don't even do it at all because they don't even know me. But I don't even take holidays off. As a matter of fact, I use holidays sometimes even more than I use the rest of the time. Right? So if you were to realize nothing wants to punish you and nothing's out to get you, then you would feel safer to express all of your feelings and emotions, and you wouldn't hide them. So then they would dissipate because you're not blocking them and attacking yourself with them. That's why I try to tell all my friends and everybody I know, when you're around me, just feel like you can say whatever it is you want to say, however you want to say it, and I'm not going to try to fix or correct you. Because I know you'll get past that unhappiness faster if you can just say, I wanted to run over somebody on Colfax yesterday and walked out in front of me. But spiritual people don't do that. Because spiritual people don't ever act like they feel anything but sweetness and light toward everybody.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. And then they get an aneurysm. Because you're about to what? Pop. That's what an aneurysm is. The blood vessel that's about to pop. So I realized I had a lot of stuff I had stuffed that I was about to pop. And then Spirit said, yeah, but you know what you were stuffing? What? All the love. You weren't acknowledging the love. You weren't letting yourself feel you. Think about that. See, that's opposite to what I would have told myself. That's how I know it must be the truth. What is the truth? Anything that you're not thinking. Really kind of funny when you think of this whole book is saying, you know when your life will get better? When? When you don't do nothing and shut up. That's what this whole book teaches. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. I remember vividly as a child, my mother told me, hey boy, just go over there in the corner and sit down and let me take care of what's got to be done right now. You go outside and play. She got more done without my help. That's what the Creator is trying to tell us. I can get more done without your help, but you keep on thinking that you're the one that's driving the bus, and you need to get into the passenger seat. And so I saw that happen to me, and so the temptation is, now that I feel better, move over, God. Now Earl's going to take over again, because I feel better. See, that's the temptation. That's what the Course in Miracles calls temptation. Not the temptation to eat a piece of cake when you say you're not, but the temptation to be harmful instead of helpful. The temptation to focus guilt and anger on people instead of asking, how can I be a means for peace in this situation? That's temptation. who cares what you do with your body? It's only going to be around a little while anyway. So, big deal. What you mean? Now you went too far, because my body is everything. What do you mean? This is the prize. If you act right, you might get my body. Now, you're going to pay with your life, but that's okay. It's worth it. Okay, now. That very seldom brings very much laughter. It's so funny when you say stuff about the body. Whoa, wait a minute now. You're doing great. Till you start talking about this body stuff. So I refuse. I'm not going to talk about it. Okay. So, that was gentleness. That was gentleness, right? So, you know people love to talk about peace until somebody cuts them off in traffic. Right? Then all that peace goes where? Straight out. Like every time I think I'm a master, I get in traffic. And then it's like equalizes every freaking thing immediately, right? So harm is impossible to God's teachers. What's impossible? That means nobody can hurt me. Nobody can hurt me and I can't hurt anybody. Nobody can hurt me and I can't hurt anybody. Nobody can say that to yourself. Nobody can hurt me and I can't hurt anybody. Nobody can hurt me and I can't hurt anybody. Nobody can hurt me and I can't hurt anybody. Now, did any of you have a part of you that said BS? Huh? Yeah. See, that doesn't mean that's not the truth, just because you don't believe it. Don't forget that. The only thing that can be hurt is your ego. The only thing that can be hurt is what's not you. Who you really are is an unlimited spiritual being created by God that lives forever no matter what. What you think you are is a human body that was born and is going to die one day and is trying to stay as safe as it can, as much as it can until it dies. The Course of Miracles is saying that's your problem. You've forgotten that you are consciousness, that you are spirit. You've forgotten that you're energy and frequency and more than a physical body. You've forgotten that, and everybody around you has forgotten that. And so you all reinforce it by forgetting that you are love. That's what you really are. So your real self cannot be hurt. Your real self cannot be hurt. I didn't say you didn't think you could not be hurt. And you use the pain that the body goes through to prove that you can. And so then you have all these different healing modalities in the world that are symbolic gestures that you do to show that you have a willingness to be healed. So you might get a chart done, you might get an attunement done, you might go to the doctor, you might do it. All the stuff we do in the world is nothing but the symbolic gestures that we do to show that we're willing to have spirit heal us. And that's why they're valuable, because they are you putting your money where your mouth is. That's you actually doing something to show that you're willing to have a different outcome. That's what coming here today was about. It was a symbolic gesture showing that you were willing to have a different outcome. If I do yoga, it's a symbolic gesture of me allowing a new kind of energy and light to come through my body. You follow what I'm saying? But the healing is coming from the divine. But it's going to start with your desire to be harmless and not harmful. And as you wake up more spiritually, you'll find yourself not trying to talk about this to people who would think you're nuts.
Does that mean that the body can be harmed, but that our true essence can't be harmed?
Yeah, the body can be harmed.
Okay.
But your true essence can't.
Okay.
Yeah, my body had an issue. So that was some harm that was happening to my body.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? But my intention to see it as a call for love and a call for healing, that allowed me to see it correctly. And then I could forgive it, what I've done to myself. Because I used the situation I was experiencing as a prayer to the higher power to give me the correct perception of the body. I never once asked God to heal my body. The Course in Miracles taught me that for Course in Miracles students, you never ask to have your body healed. It says what you do is you ask for the correct perception of the body. And a correct perception of the body, would that not be a loving perception of the body? Would that not be an innocent perception of the body? So even if my body had an aneurysm, it still was neutral. It still wasn't me. So I went, the body needed to have surgery. The body needed to recover the body needed to eat certain things. It's not, I am not my car. I am not my body. Same thing. But we'll say, if you drive a car, you'll sometimes say somebody ran into me or somebody hit me. They didn't hit you, they hit your car. And we're doing the same thing with the body. We're doing the exact same thing. Now, what is it that makes us identify with our body? Why was I so convinced that was my body was me? Because I was experiencing pain and pleasure. The Course in Miracles teaches that pain and pleasure both make you identify with your body. And so it makes you think what do you mean? I stubbed my toe. This body is me. Look what I'm hurt. Yeah, well, that was the purpose of the pain, was to make you think that your body is who you are. That was the purpose of that good pleasure that you had with that person you met after that dance you went to. Oh, it must be a body. When he gave me a neck massage, that was so good. Oh, it must be this body that feels so good. You see what I mean? So your body can only prove that you're a body. Your body can only prove that you're a body. So you don't ever look for your body to prove to you you're not one. Knowledge is what tells you that. Knowledge and perception are not the same thing. You can know something and not see it. We can know that we're innocent and see things that make us think we're guilty. Knowledge and perception are not the same thing. So that's why the Course is giving us knowledge. It's helping us have knowledge. It's helping us know that if you really want to be okay, stop being harmful. How do you stop being harmful? Stop trying to make yourself feel guilty. Stop trying to make other people feel guilty. Because when you have the intention of holding a grievance towards somebody and staying mad at them, it's going to obliterate your function of being loving from your awareness. It's going to keep you from being able to hear the inner guidance that you're getting from God. And so therefore you'll be confused, angry, suspicious, and afraid because you're not hearing your guidance. Harm is impossible. Harm is impossible. Harm is impossible. Harm is impossible. Harm is impossible because love is invincible. Love is invincible. You are invincible. Love is invincible. You are invincible. I am 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 invincible. Harm is impossible. Harm is impossible. Harm is impossible. Harm is impossible because love is invincible. See, why am I doing that? Because it's repetition. Putting some juice into it. It's just saying stuff like, I know the child of God. I ain't gonna get it, y'all. I'm sorry. Sorry. It's the truth whether you believe it or not. It's the truth. You are innocent and powerful whether you believe it or not. So joy is the inevitable result of gentleness. Okay, here we go. If you're gentle and you're not trying to hurt anybody and you're not a hell raiser, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have joy. Okay. So gentleness, now if you're following along in the book, notice it says gentleness means that fear is now impossible. So how would a person be able to tell that they're truly gentle? They wouldn't be afraid. If you're really a gentle person, you don't have any fear. Then it says, and what could come to interfere with joy if you don't have any fear? Check this out. The open hands of gentleness are always filled. The gentle have no pain. So I had pain, so I knew I was not practicing total gentleness yet because I had surgery and things that had to happen to my body. I didn't beat myself up because I didn't have 100% gentleness. It made me aware that I needed to work on having more gentleness. Okay? Then the next thing it says, and those who are truly gentle cannot suffer. They don't suffer lack. They don't suffer anger. They don't suffer. They don't suffer. So people who are suffering, even though you don't want to hear this, people who are suffering aren't being gentle enough with themselves. I'm sorry. People who are suffering are not being gentle enough with themselves. And then what it say? Then it says, why wouldn't the gentle not be joyous? If you can't suffer and you can't be afraid, he says, well then you can't suffer, so why would you not be joyous? Now, why would you be joyous if you can't suffer and you have no pain? Well, do you know that if you are not suffering and you really feel good, the thing that you're going to feel is beloved and safe. I felt beloved and safe for me and to make sure that I was okay. I felt beloved when my daughter made a beeline up here to spend 2 weeks with me, and we were staying in the same place for 2 weeks, which hadn't happened ever. That it was just me and her at that level, talking and bonding and clearing, and it was so many positive miracles that came out of that. So what did it make me feel? Well, Purdy, maybe you're not such a bad guy after all. Maybe you realize, not to mention the people who supported me in other ways. So the Course is saying to me, and guess what? I felt safe. I didn't think anybody was going to come into my room and mug me while I was healing. I had angel nurses. I was looking for them to have little wings sprout out their backs in a second, in terms of how cool they were, And it was an amazing experience. Now, I gave myself a couple of painful experiences because I didn't really think I deserved completely that much total peace at every level. So I did do a little pain stuff just so I'd be okay. Some of y'all know exactly what I mean. I took it. I had as much as I was complimenting my nurses so much and acknowledging them so much for the way they were taking care of me and the way they were treating me, because they weren't used to it. You could tell they weren't used to it. And one nurse just stopped and said, I've had as much as I can take. She said, I had as much as I could. She had been just taking care of me, because the more I sincerely acknowledged her, guess what? The nicer they were. Amazing, right? The more harmless I was, the nicer they was. But we all have those limitations, right? And she reached hers. So then I messed with her after that and said, okay, if you don't act right, I'm going to give you a compliment. Okay, all right, okay. I tell you, when I wasn't afraid of them, they weren't afraid of me. When I reached out to them with love, they reached back out to me. I don't care how much of a sourpuss face somebody would have when they came in my room. I realized that they were just reflecting me. And that if I really came out of a loving place, 9 times out of 10, they're going to meet you there. Every time. And I've just been practicing that lately, whether I'm on the elevator or anything. When I'm getting ready to judge a person and go, they don't seem too friendly. I'm like, uh-oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I go, well, how you doing today? How's your day going? Boy, it's, say something. And almost every time, I don't care how sourpuss their face look, it changes. And they'll go, yeah, man, I know what you're talking about. Well, then they get off the elevator and go, may God bless you, and your day be fine. That was the same person that was sourpuss of the universe. But I was sourpuss of the universe. They were mirroring back what I was giving. So I want to practice this more. And I know that I'm going to have some people that's not going to respond the way I want them to prove to myself that it doesn't happen all the time. Because that part of me believes people aren't nice all the time. So if I got to believe that people are not nice all the time, then I've got to create what? People not being nice all the time. It gives me a chance to be right about people. Okay. So then it says, you are sure that you are beloved and must be saved. Joy goes with gentleness, as surely as grief attends attack. God's teachers have trust in God. That's the same as saying love's teachers trust in love. And God's teachers, that's you and me, love's teachers are sure the Holy Spirit, that's God's teacher, goes before them. See, that I was trying to demonstrate love while I was in the hospital. Then I was trying to be sure that the higher power would go before me, doing what? Making sure that I survived the surgery. Making sure that no harm would come to me. So I held God's gifts, and I tried to do what the Course said, which was following God's way. Why did I try to be a loving person? Because God's voice was directing me in all things. I was trying to do what the Course in Miracles was telling me to do in that situation. Why could I hear what the Course in Miracles was telling me to do as far as being kind? Because my intention was to be harmless and helpful, so I could hear the guidance that said, Earl, tell them what a wonderful job they are and how much you appreciate them on to being a job where they're helping people the way that they're helping people. See, I had to want to experience kindness for me to hear the voice that told me to acknowledge them. So people who don't listen to love never compliment and acknowledge or show appreciation to anybody for anything. Woo. So, joy was my song of thanks. So how do I say to those people who helped me out in the hospital how did I say thank you to them? I let them see how joyful I was at the way they were treating me. My joy was my song of thanks. It's hard for you to feel like you're hurting me, and it's hard for you to feel guilty if I'm happy. A happy person is just making you feel innocent just because they're happy. Right? But if you're in front of somebody and they look like a sourpuss, well, what are they doing? They're silently witnessing to the idea that somehow or another being around you is not a very joyful thing for them. So there's something you should be doing differently. So joy was my song of thanks, and Christ, now what do we mean by Christ? The Course defines Christ as your real loving self, your true self. And then it says your true self looks down on you as a teacher of God in thanks as well, because your higher self, your real self, its need of you is just as great as your need of it. How joyous it is to share the purpose of salvation, which is what? Peace and forgiveness, gentleness and joy, gentleness and joy. Harm is impossible for God's teachers because we don't harm and we cannot be harmed. Your true self isn't a body. Your true self isn't a personality. Woo! And if harm is impossible, what's all this drama we call relationships? So I want you to imagine yourself being wrapped in invisible love armor. All right? Just right, you're just surrounded by it right now. So I'm going to stop here. And I'm going to do, give me some love. Give me some love. You're giving yourself some love. Yes. All that you give is given to yourself. Yes, there's a part of you that's black. And the truth is, we're not black or white or male or female or any of the stuff that we think we are. It's just the way we communicate. It's our flesh suit. And I have a tendency to want to judge myself by my flesh suit and judge my value by the way my body looks and thinking that people won't like me and want me no more because I don't look like I did when I was 30. So nobody wants me now. So I need to have some money. Mom, it's amazing how cute you get when you're rich.
It's the Patriots coach.
So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to share with me if you'd like to. And would you mind passing that for me, darling? I appreciate you all so much. We're gonna get really deep and go deep into things. And I'm available for clarity sessions. I'm available for astrology and numerology sessions. Go to my website. Did I say go to my website? Go to my website, earlpurdy.com. And you can book a session with me so that I can tell you through the chart and through the course exactly what you should do right now in the situation that you're in, that you need some peace in. You can be told. You can be told the way out. You can be told how it can happen for you. If you want to make a donation, you can use Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Square, my website. And all you need is my email address, which is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. Subscribe and follow me. Right now I have a special one that you can have a lifetime membership with the spiritual community that I'm forming with the course and with the special lessons that I'm going to do with people that are members. So you can also join the membership with me and what I'm about to do. We are about to enter the most important year in 2026 that we've experienced in several hundred years. So you need to get on the caravan of love. You really need to make a decision about whether you're going to be in the fear side or the love side, because we're about to see things we've never, ever, 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 ever seen before. And for some people, it's going to be utopia, and for some people, it'll be dystopia. It depends on whether or not you want to be harmful or you want to be harmless. So I want us to join as community and as a family, and I'm looking forward to it. I also broadcast this live on YouTube. I'm going to be doing this live on YouTube and at the same time as Facebook simultaneously from here on out. So you'll be able to see it on YouTube and you'll be able to see it on Facebook. And of course, YouTube is more easily accessible than Facebook tends to be. So I'm excited. I feel good. Being with you today was very, 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 very healing. So just remember, I think that covered everything. Just remember that, take a breath and take 1 minute to land this plane. Harm is the outcome of judgment. Harm is the outcome of judgment. Harm is the outcome of judgment. No judgment, no harm. No judgment, no harm. No judgment, no harm. And if you're going to judge, if you feel the need to judge, and you know you got to judge, and you feel the need to judge, and you know you got to judge, here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. Everybody knows that here comes the judge. Then if you want to be a judge, then you go like this. This is a love or a call for love. I say, you are love or a call for love. This situation in the world is love or a call for love. What we see on the news is love or a call for love. All you're seeing is love or a call for love. That's the only thing that's happening in the world right now is love or a call for love. Love or a call for love. If you want to judge and not hurt yourself, if you want to judge and not cause harm for yourself, say, this is love or it's a call for love. No judgment, no harm. No judgment, no harm. No judgment, no fear. No harm, no fear. No harm, no fear. No harm, no fear. So whenever you feel attacked, pause and say, this is my classroom. This is my classroom. I'm being shown where I still believe in harm. This is my classroom. This is my classroom. I'm being shown where I still believe in harm. So gentleness is not weakness. It's divine strength. And also remember, no one can harm you unless you agree to believe in it. The ego thinks that strength means push, shove, and get your way. But true strength whispers, I don't need to attack to be safe. I do not need to attack to be safe. I don't need to attack to be safe. You don't need to attack to be safe. You don't need to attack to be safe. You don't need to attack to be safe. The strong are kind, the weak are cruel. The strong are kind and the weak are cruel. Cruel people are weak people. 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 People. The strong are kind. The gentle always win because they never fight. Mighty companions, I appreciate you so much, and may the course be with you. And with you. For those who can do it, we're going to do a 20-minute discussion. Love you. 4 times. Watch it, listen to it 4 times. Love you.